We live in a society that confuses the meaning of things. And society tends to not want to understand the definition of things. So people confuse the difference between high value and high earning men. And the difference between the two is that high value man speaks to the character of the man, and high earning man speaks to the accumulation of assets, resources, and money of those specific men. Now, society has created specific standards telling men that they should acquire resources in order to be loved, in order to be seen, and thus makes them valuable. But the problem with that is that with the circulation of resources, it means that not every man will reach a certain level of success, either through personal reasons or just the way the dice rolls with life. Now, the problem then becomes this. You find that the women in our society, of which is not all of them, the women in our society look towards the men who are high earning and think those men are available and think that means that if you're dating a man with money, your life will be good. And to an extent, it only speaks to the character, of which is high value, because it is very possible for a man to be high earning and high valuable. But now the way society has twisted the script, men only pursue getting money and they don't self-develop and work on their character. Now, the problem then becomes this, that in the society that we live in, a lot of boys grow up without their fathers being present. And the fathers do not instill values and principles in those boys. And the boys only focus on getting resources and getting to a certain level of society. But then that causes a problem because a lot of them do not have self-discipline. And they then choose to sleep with multiple women, of which can complicate your life to a certain extent. Because a lot of men are not really self-aware. They don't use protection and they're not responsible with their seed. Now, we come to the aspect of the high value men and what that thing means in society. It means a few various reasons that people need to understand. A high value man is a man who is responsible, who is honorable, and a man who sticks to his promises and his words, because he understands that promises are things of the spirit. You don't say what you don't mean. Because cowardly men tend to lie a lot to women to get what they want, because the women a lot of the women lack accountability and they don't want to self-reflect, and the lies sound very good to a lot of them, and it causes a problem because they are the ones who fall pregnant and they listen to the lies that some men give them, and then they're stuck with the kids and they get into a lot of complications. So it is important that especially women are able to distinguish between high value and high earning men so that they don't fall into the trap of having children with wrong men. So ladies, do not confuse high earning men with high value men, because I can make a lot of money and still not want to be a father to your kids and still not want to marry you or give you a relationship. But high value men are very intentional men, are men who do things with meaning and they have a purpose to their lives. They don't just do things at the whim of it or for the fun of it. So that is the difference between high value and high earning men. And women need to really look at the character of men, especially if they want to have long-term relationships.